Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Curse of Oak Island. Lagina Brothers finally get their X marks the spot for gold at the Money Pit. The Curse of Oak Island team finally knows where the gold at the Money Pit is buried. A pink blob on a geologist's electronic slide has pinpointed the whereabouts of gold buried near the garden shaft in the Money Pit area. There was tons of stuff happening in last night's episode of The Curse of Oak Island, ranging from a brand new mysterious feature with ancient pottery discovered on Lot 5 to a medieval spike found near the swamp. But the main area of interest focused around a pink blob that marks the whereabouts of a large deposit of gold in the Money Pit. It all began with geologist Dr. Van Spooner collecting water samples from various boreholes around the Money Pit and putting them in little plastic bottles. Marty Lagina joked about how after 200 years of vast expense and digging, the secret to the island may be contained within a little plastic bottle. The point of Ian's task was to trace the gold in the water and determine where the source might be, and it looks like the answer is buried approximately 10 feet to the west of the garden shaft. The guys assembled in the war room, and Marty wanted to know about the gold. Luckily, Ian didn't disappoint. He eventually produced a slide featuring a pink blob on a map of the Money Pit area, and he said this is where the gold lies. The gold at the Oak Island Money Pit should be easy to access, and there was more good news. Ian and his colleague hydrogeologist, Dr. Fred Michael, told the team the deposit is likely at the relatively shallow depth of between 80 and 110 feet. This depth range is somewhat significant. In 1804, the Onslow Company, while digging a shaft at the Money Pit, discovered a mysterious inscribed stone at 90 feet. The stone was suspected of being a marker for the treasure. The Onslow workers then dug into a flat platform or unknown vault structure, but were forced to abandon the dig when the shaft flooded. The Oak Island team has speculated that those workers might have hit upon the treasure vault. Marty asked his brother Rick Lagina if there was any reason why they couldn't chase this right away and start digging immediately. Thankfully, Rick couldn't think of one, so fingers crossed, the guys will begin digging on the next episode. Onward and into the blob, joked Marty. Once the Dumas Mining Company has obtained the proper permits to recommence the excavation of the garden shaft, then the guys will be able to utilize their equipment and further explore the pink blob. Archaeologists discover a new mysterious feature on Oak Island's Lot 5. Meanwhile, on Lot 5, metal detectorist Gary Drayton found some intriguing pottery. This led to Laird Niven and his team of archaeologists moving in to take over the operation, and it seems as though they found yet another mysterious feature. Typical Oak Island, it's early days yet in the investigation, but there appears to be a purposefully buried stone structure that features numerous pieces of pottery. The pottery is highly decorated and tin-glazed, meaning it can be dated circa 1650 to 1750. Laird reckons the pottery is English in origin, but what on earth was it doing buried in an area where there has been no human habitation? It's yet another Oak Island mystery. The Lagina brothers decided to ditch most of the archaeologists when the local authorities asked them to cease operations in a large area of the swamp. Miriam was a fun addition to the team at the Old Stone Roadway, and it's great to have her back. The air on Oak Island was thick with anticipation, a kind of electric tension that danced along the salty breeze. For decades, countless treasure hunters had roamed this enigmatic isle, chasing whispers of gold and legends buried beneath the earth. But for the Lagina brothers, Rick and Marty, this wasn't just about treasure. It was a quest that intertwined history, mystery, and their unwavering brotherly bond. As the sun crested the horizon, casting a golden glow over the infamous Money Pit, Rick stood gazing into the depths, memories swirling in his mind. He recalled the first time they had set foot on the island, the fire ignited by the thrill of discovery. The allure of Oak Island was not merely in the promise of wealth, but in the rich tapestry of stories woven into its very soil. From the tale of the original finders to the tragic fates of many who had dared to dig, each layer of earth held secrets waiting to be unearthed. The map was a crude but promising artifact, said to be created by one of the island's earliest explorers. It had been hidden away in an unassuming old book, waiting for someone with the courage to take it seriously. The markings were vague but tantalizingly close to the notorious money pit, where generations of treasure seekers had met failure. But this time, the Lagina brothers were ready. Armed with advanced technology, including ground-penetrating radar and the latest drilling equipment, they were determined to finally find what so many had lost. As the crew gathered around the rig, there was a palpable sense of excitement mixed with skepticism. Could they truly be on the verge of uncovering something monumental? The brothers exchanged glances, their unspoken bond grounding them amidst the chaos of the moment. The stakes had never been higher, not just for them but for the countless souls who had come before. This was about redemption, not only for themselves but for the legacy of those who had sought treasure on Oak Island. "Let's get to work," Rick said, his voice breaking the silence. The crew sprang into action, each person driven by their own dreams of discovery. As the drill began to penetrate the earth, the rhythmic sound echoed like a heartbeat, a reminder of the life that pulsed beneath the surface. Minutes turned into hours as they dug deeper, adrenaline coursing through their veins, fueled by the hope that they might finally strike gold. Suddenly, the machinery shuddered, and the drill hit something solid. The collective breath of the team hung in the air, each member locking eyes with one another, an unspoken question echoing in their minds. Had they finally found it? "Shut it down," Marty shouted, his voice rising above the clamor of the machinery. The crew scrambled to halt the operation, hearts pounding in sync as they prepared to investigate the find. The Lagina brothers approached the site with caution. As they cleared away debris, a wooden structure emerged from the depths, old, weathered timbers that spoke of a time long past. "This could be it, Rick," Marty breathed, his eyes wide with excitement. This could be the vault. As they carefully examined the exposed wood, a wave of exhilaration washed over them. The structure was reminiscent of the stories they had heard, tales of a hidden chamber, built to protect treasures from prying eyes. The brothers knew they had crossed a threshold. They were standing at the precipice of history. With expert hands, they began to unearth the surrounding area, uncovering more timber and remnants of a forgotten past. Each piece they revealed sparked a new wave of theories and possibilities. Was this truly a vault or simply another false lead in the long saga of Oak Island? They couldn't afford to let doubt creep in now, not when they were so close. "Let's document everything," Rick instructed, pulling out his camera to capture the moment. As they recorded their findings, the tension in the air thickened and a sense of destiny settled over the group. This was more than just treasure, it was a link to the past, a testament to the human spirit's insatiable desire to uncover what lies hidden. Hours passed as they meticulously dug around the structure, and just when it felt like fatigue might set in, Marty's shovel struck something unexpected. The sound echoed like a bell, resonating with the promise of discovery. "Rick, come look at this," he exclaimed, rushing away the dirt to reveal a glint of metal. As Rick joined him, their hearts raced. There, half buried, was a small chest adorned with intricate carvings, its surface tarnished but undeniably beautiful. "We did it," Rick whispered, awestruck. They had found something that might finally validate the decades of searching, the years of dedication, and the many nights spent dreaming of this very moment. The brothers exchanged a glance filled with unspoken understanding, a moment of triumph. They had chased legends, faced failures, and navigated the treacherous waters of the unknown. Now they stood on the brink of history, ready to unveil whatever secrets lay within the chest. As they worked together to pry it open, the sound of creaking wood echoed through the clearing. The chest's lid finally swung wide, revealing a collection of gold coins, jewels, and artifacts that sparkled under the sunlight. "This is it," Marty shouted, his voice filled with disbelief and joy. Cheers erupted from the crew, a chorus of triumph that reverberated across the island. They had done it. They had finally unearthed the treasure that had eluded so many before them. The brothers embraced, overwhelmed by the enormity of their achievement. In that moment, they were not just treasure hunters, they were keepers of a legacy that had haunted Oak Island for centuries.